Boys, speak and share. Mason and Nathan, welcome to the Arrive and Thrive Career Podcast.
Thanks, mate. Good to be here. Big fan of the show.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, absolutely. No, awesome to be here, and thanks for having us on.
Oh, pleasure. Thanks so much for joining me here in the Mornington office. You guys are local here too, aren't you?
Yeah, we're just around the corner. So just moved into a factory. So
yeah,
really stoked. Nice little walk over.
Yeah, fantastic.
Cool. Yeah,
awesome.
The two of us, and then we've got Ben, who's an apology today, but makes up the three.
Yeah, cool. Hey Ben, hope you're listening in the future, mate.
He'll tune in.
He'll definitely listen.
Yeah,
yeah, awesome. Can you boys, just give us a snapshot for the listeners around, what Speak and Share is and what you guys do?
Yeah, so Speak and Share is a mental health organisation, and we want to encourage like those tough conversations. Our slogan is a problem shared is a problem halved. So we're just encouraging as many people to reach out to those people if they are struggling or if you're struggling yourself, because the three of us have been through our own experiences a couple of years ago, which led to us to create Speak and Share. It's a registered charity. We run school programs, sporting club programs, community events, and we're just trying to change the culture of mental health hopefully one day and inspire the youth to start speaking and sharing.
Yeah, fantastic. I do love, I'm not big on the social media thing myself, but I've seen a couple of your videos around, I saw the golf day one where you talk, trying to bring, humour to that notion of talking and being clued into what your mates are going through. How did it all start with having that kind of comedy approach as well as talking about a serious issue?
Yeah, that was our initial approach, I guess, that we put out on Instagram, that we're making these videos about mental health, but we also wanted to add an element of humour and relatability, I guess, to that we've all probably been in a situation like that, and through a little bit of laughter we can break down the stigma of mental health, that it doesn't have to be so scary to talk about how we're actually going and to talk about our mental health. So we do love to do those skit videos. You'll see some very poor acting in there, but I think that's part of the humour and part of the lighthearted approach that we try to take.
Yeah, fantastic.
The acting's definitely improved.
It couldn't have got worse.
If you want to go have a good laugh, go watch some of our early videos.
Earlier vids?
Yeah, we want to delete them, but then we're like, nah, that's part of the journey. We'll leave them up.
Yeah, it's part of the foundation.
It shows the growth.
Yeah, awesome. And, I appreciate you sharing that, you've both gone through your own challenges. Do you mind sharing how Speak and Share began and what made you want to do this?
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, the three of us actually during lockdown, we were lucky enough to get up to the NT and play football and live our life up there for some time, which was incredible. But during that time, I guess a few things happened to ourselves. So my parents split up, which led to some really hard times personally. It was a time where I didn't really want to talk about it. I was up there having fun with my mates, and it all sort of just bottled up, and then led to a bit of a breakdown when I came home, and that's when I sort of faced my own mental health challenges. But yeah, I was very lucky to have such great support around me and my mates, and I was able to get over that time. But yeah, it was quite a hard time for myself personally for a good part of a year.
Yeah, and then I guess the story that Ben and myself share is we lost one of our mates to suicide while we were up there as well. So a difficult time for us to navigate being away from home and away from our friends and family while that was occurring. So, I guess that was a little bit of a journey that we went on, that we were very lucky to have the support of Nathan and a few other good mates that were up there. And then when we were coming back home, we were coming into what was going to be a little bit different environment, now knowing that he's not going to be with us anymore, and how we can support our friends and family returning home as well.
I'm so sorry to hear that, guys going through those types of experiences. I know, having lost my good mate Dan, at the start of last year, not to suicide, but it was so sudden, he passed away in his sleep.
Wow.
And grief does, horrible things to you. And I know for me, that was one of my major points in my life where I was I was asking myself questions am I depressed, or am I dealing with these types of things? Because I'd never lost a friend like that before. I'm assuming you were going through a similar thing.
Yeah, it's so difficult. I guess everybody responds differently to the loss of a life, and depending on how close you were with them and the relationship you did have with that person. But I guess I like to look at it now, and obviously there is a fair grieving period post the loss of Josh, but I like to look at his legacy now. So like Speak and Share is a big organisation and he was a huge a huge part of us starting Speak and Share, and one of those elements that led us to say we need to try and help our community and encourage change. So I like to look at his legacy and how we can, I guess, live that on through Speak and Share.
Yeah, I love that reframe, man, because that's something that I've come to peace with too, like trying to leave Dan a legacy in the work that we do, and to, carry his message in different ways too. And so when you were going through these difficult times, how did that, we should make a charity about this? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, like really it's crazy how it all started, but I guess the starting point was we said we have a story to share, and we've never said our story is more important than anyone else's, but we just said that, being young males, if we can be vulnerable and put our story out there and, hopefully some people can learn from that and accept it, and it can help other people find strength. So, we started with that intention, and then we started making a few videos, and then one thing led to another where we wanted to develop a school program being teachers ourselves, and then it became a charity with a board behind us really helping us push forward. And we got some huge dreams, but it's incredible. It's been 2 years, and the journey we've been on and the people we've met and the things we've been able to do within the community so far, we're really proud of. But we got some big aspirations to change a few things, and we're really enjoying the journey we're on.
Yeah, that's awesome. So talk to us about your first school program. Like, how'd you go about getting that, and also what are some of the main messages that you're trying to teach young people?
Yeah, I'd say all our programs so far have been so different. The way that even how the activities play out. So we like to be a very up and moving, engaging session. So we run a few different activities that go for a period of time, and it's often they're working with their peers on a certain task. It's crazy how it is working. We sort of came up with a few ideas together, and with help from a few other professionals in the field, that we've put together a list of activities and a few things we wanted to cover in a session that goes for about an hour. And the buy-in has been amazing from the participants. So often in a lot of the activities, first we like to provide an example of how you might answer a question, or we have a drawing activity, how you might draw this thing that we do. And we actually get blown away with, so we'll provide the example, but some of their responses were like, wow, you should be running this session. It's pretty, inspiring listening to some of the youth and how they go about answering these questions and doing these tasks. So I think we're going to be in good hands in the future. Yeah, that's
fantastic.
Yeah, you can definitely see a real change, especially in those younger year levels, like the year 9 students and the year 10 students. I remember when we were that age, and that's why a big part of why we created this program is because we feel like we didn't have that when we were at school ourselves. Yeah. To see them now talking about mental health and being so invested in it, and some of the things they say about hey, why you should look after your friends, it's just incredible. So you can definitely see a real shift at the moment, which is beautiful to see.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I feel like I'm really fortunate too to work with young people like on a daily basis with the work that we do, and I love it. Like, I feel like they just come out with some absolute gems and nuggets of wisdom, and you're like, how old are you? Like 15. Like, it's unbelievable.
I reckon so many times we've said to that kid, you should be up here, presenting for sure.
Hand the keys to the shop type thing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. We come from teaching backgrounds where we are the educators, but often so much of the time we're learning so much from these kids and the experiences they've gone through and the way they portray themselves. It's a great role to be in.
That's cool. And so what made you want to be teachers? And then I suppose that process of going, hang on a second, our purpose is shifting into Speak and Share.
Yeah, I guess definitely not the 4 years of uni that we did together.
No, that's a good point. I'm not really sure. My dad was a teacher himself, so I just grew up. We always went on holidays. It seemed like a pretty cool lifestyle, but I've always had a real passion for working with kids and stuff. So being able to hopefully make a difference in their lives was a big driver for me. You're probably the same, Mace. You're passionate about that.
Absolutely, yeah. I would have to say working with kids as well. I probably wasn't sure what I wanted to do post year 12 as well, and maybe fell into it a little bit. But always enjoyed school, so I guess I was quite happy to return back there as an adult as well.
Yeah, and I reckon I had some awesome teachers that I really got along well with. And I was like, yeah, like I could be like you one day, I reckon.
Yeah.
That was probably a big driver.
Yeah, it's so funny that like how we choose certain vocations based on like that visualization piece of like, I reckon I could see myself doing that one day. And yeah.
And then in terms, I guess, of the shift, I guess, out of teaching a little bit is it probably wasn't something we planned. So we're quite happy to be teachers. We studied for that, and it's a great career to have. But I guess we just found this great opportunity with Speak and Share that our community had real need for it, and we were quite happy to be the ones driving that change. But through our school program, and I still teach a couple of days a week as well. We still want to be involved in schools and have that connection as well.
Love that. And boys, I must admit, like being a local Mornington resident, like I see your hoodies around the shopping centre. I see like people at my gym like wearing the hats and stuff. Like I love the ripple effect that you're causing. True story. Like I went to, do you guys know Yabby's, the fish and chip shop? Like on Main Street, Mornington? Yeah. Bit of an institution for my family because it's like gluten free. So my wife's like, fish and chips.
Nice.
She's like, best potato cakes. Anyway.
Shout out to them. Then.
Yeah, exactly.
Sponsor the pod.
I don't know her name in there, but she's an absolute legend. And she's just like, takes no bullshit from anyone, which I totally respect. But I was sitting there waiting for my order one night. And this is when I first learnt about what you were doing. And I just had the local Mornington paper, and I think you guys were like on the front cover or a couple of pages in about like I think it was a fun run or something that
it would have been a fun run.
Yeah, you teed up. Like, talk me through that process of going like, okay, we want to do a charity, but then how do we, these activities that you've got going, like a fun run, you got this community discussion pop up this Sunday. How did these things like come about?
Yeah, like a big part of us is we've always wanted to bring people together, and we've always wanted to bring our community together. So, running our fun run, which we did last year, and we had a movement club that led up to that. We saw 500 people come down on the day and run, and the slogan was "Every step is easier together." So we're trying to push a mental health message through people coming together and connecting, and it's been incredible to see. And like touching on the merchandise, we're starting to see it everywhere, and we just hope that like it sparks a conversation. We've had some beautiful messages from people saying, I saw someone wearing the hoodie and I was wearing it as well, and it sparked a conversation. So to see that ripple effect is, it's incredible. Hopefully it keeps growing, but the community piece is a real driver for us, and we're seeing that online, but we're trying to bring it in person so people can actually connect. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, I have to thank you for picking up the magazine as well. I don't know how many people would have picked it up with our heads on the front cover, but we'll take you for that. But as we say a lot, that I think people are quite happy to talk about their mental health. It's just finding the time and the space to do so. And it's got to be a safe environment and a safe space for that to happen. But that's why we believe in what we're doing, whether it's through community events, that we recognise a lot of people aren't a part of schools or sporting clubs. So that's why we like to do community events as well, give something for the general public to come along to. Having a great impact within schools and sporting clubs as well. And they seem to be supportive environments that people are quite happy to open up to each other and to their peers and start those conversations.
Yeah. Have you guys noticed like a generation shift, like between people wanting to talk about their mental health, perhaps challenges and things like that? Because I think about, people and family and friends of mine who have had mental health challenges that are continuous, and some diagnosed, some undiagnosed. And I often think, some of the younger crew are more open to talking about it. I don't know, what's your take on it?
Yeah, I think what we're trying to do is really impact the youth, but then hopefully the youth take that message home and start that conversation with whether it's their parents or their people looking after them at home. So I think we've seen that. We've seen, there's just a bit of a story. We had a girl come to the pop-up, and she was quite young, and she took home these menus that prompt conversations that we use at our events, and she took about 6 or 7 home, and she went and gave them to her friends at school, and she said, like, here's one of these menus, you got to go home and start this conversation with your families. So we're definitely seeing it within the youth, but there's definitely still a challenge with that older generation, but hopefully the youth can change that within them. So
yeah, absolutely. I think, and Nath hit the nail on the head there, that a lot of it is youth driven, and people are quite happy to listen to the youth. They're the next up and coming. So it's nice that they can be aligned with our message and they can help drive it forward, I guess, to their parents and uncles and siblings going forward.
Yeah, fantastic. If you don't mind me asking, like, how do you guys deal with managing your own mental health nowadays? Like, being obviously one thing I'm mindful of is, because I work in careers education, I think sometimes people go, oh, you must have like your career dialed because you're a careers educator. And I go, well, it's one thing to like talk about, you know, what you should be doing, and then one thing to actually back it up yourself. Like, what have you noticed stepping into this work, and how do you prioritize your own mental health and things like that?
Yeah, I, that's a great question. And I think like a lot of people would see us as that speak and share guy, but, you know, we do have our own mental health as well. And, you know, sometimes we do struggle to stay on top of it. So we're definitely not perfect in that sense. And, yeah, but for me personally, it's using the ocean as my outlet, or walking the dog, or just being active.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's definitely times where I'm not looking after my mental health, and, you know, my girlfriend will be like, oh, like, you're meant to be the speak and share guy. And like, that can actually be pretty taxing on ourselves as well, because, you know, it's a big thing to do. So
Totally.
You'd be the same, wouldn't you, Mace?
Yeah, absolutely. I like being recognised for working for a mental health charity.
Yeah.
I guess people want to see you live that out 24/7. But yeah, I guess I just tell myself that as long as my mates know I'm there for them at any time of the day and night, then I feel like I am doing my job in that space. And I know that I have a lot of mates that I can turn to and make myself vulnerable and open up to them if I do need to. So yeah, I guess I don't know how you live out speak and share, but that's a way that I guess I like to think I'm doing it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. And I think, you know, it's such a good reminder too that no one's perfect. Like,
Absolutely.
we all have those elements that we're trying to improve. You know, I think another friend of mine who came on the show, Camilla, she had this amazing quote that's like, you know, a good human is not a perfect human, which I just love. And I think that's so true with this stuff too, because I know, being a facilitator myself, like sometimes I think the message that we share, the audience can put you on a bit of a pedestal, and it's like, hey, you know, part of this process is like, I'm not perfect. Like, I'm always learning. Like, we're all just, you know, using our strengths and skills to deliver a message that we're passionate about. But by no means, like, this is perfection. Like, you need to be curious in yourself to pursue that, and help your audience pursue that in their own way too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
We're big on, like, we're not the perfect person at all. Like, we're no dissimilar to the people that we're talking to. We're just, you know, having a crack and being vulnerable in front of them. And I think that's what we started with, and that's where we're still at. Yeah, it's a tough one. Like, it can really take a toll on you at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the message, be content but always strive for more. Like, you have to be happy with how you are going in life and how you're navigating things at the time, but you can always want more, and you always can improve. So you have to have that want for it as well. Yeah.
The best thing is like learning from your mistakes. Like, we've seen it, and you just continue to evolve and grow. So
Yeah.
You don't want to make them at the time, but you realise
they're the best thing for you.
You realise afterwards that maybe it was meant to happen.
Yeah, totally. Have you guys? I've got to ask you. Have you had any like major facilitator ups where you just like? Because one thing I've done, quick story. Like I use Slido, which is like an interactive slide process, so people can pull out their phones, they can vote for stuff, they can put up questions and stuff like that.
Nice. And
I was like, how good is this? I'm going to like be interactive with the audience and everything like that. And I put some filters on it to make sure that, no one would swear or anything like that. And but I was running this program for a year 12 group, and I've shared this story before on the podcast, but, I put it up and I said, what are you most looking forward to about year 12? And with this particular thing, people can upvote stuff. And someone thought it was funny to put lose my virginity.
Oh, shit. No.
So it just got upvoted. And it was just huge on the screen. And I was just like, oh my God. And then my tragic, I was like, it had my slide remote thing and that just disconnected. And I'm trying to change the slides. And I'm like, if you had it, and I know for me, any little mistake or thing that I've done in my facilitation, I've got a little notebook and I'm just like, all right, not making that mistake again. That's a learning right there.
I mean, I don't think we've had one that bad. We've definitely, so our logo is the sunflower. Yeah. And for a long time, or maybe a year and a half of facilitating, we ran with this saying that Oh, you explained it a lot better
Yeah,
than me.
well, we were so driven behind it. We thought this is great, an awesome message. So the sunflower is a sign of strength and perseverance.
Yeah.
So what was I've gone blank here. What's the
They grow towards each other.
oh yeah, that's right. So when the sun is out, the sunflower stands tall and grows towards the sun. But when the sun isn't out, sunflowers actually turn towards each other and they provide each other light to keep on growing and to continue on.
Is that why you chose the sunflower? Because that's genius.
That's what we thought.
That's why we chose the sunflower.
Sounds like so good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And we Googled it and it's like not true at all. So, and me and Mace realised that. So now every time he explains what the sunflower means, I look at him and I just start cracking up. I'm like,
we struggle to get through that segment. I just want to say that line like it's perfect. That's why we chose it, but it's really not true.
It was like
leaking the wrong information for a long time.
But it is a symbol of strength and perseverance, so we flip it a little bit and we still roll with it.
Yeah, love that.
The only one I thought of was we went up to a sporting club quite a while away and early days and took some merchandise up.
Yeah.
And we had T-shirts, full of Speak and Share T-shirts, and we thought like we're going to these sporting clubs, we might try and sell some merchandise, especially if they're up, in the country. They might not be able to get down to buy them. So we thought we'd take them up and we laid them out on the table and we used a few as prizes throughout the night. And then the session kind of wrapped up and they came over to have a look at them and a few people were trying them on. And then they started just walking off with the T-shirts. And then next minute we look back and there's probably like 10 of them that have walked off with a T-shirt. And then don't know what we were doing, chatting to a few people, and then we look back and there's about 40 of these participants out on the oval with Speak and Share T-shirts on, like running away. So we lost about $1,000 worth of merchandise that night. And
that was early days too.
Very early days.
Yeah, I bet.
So
So don't turn your eye when you sell merchandise.
Don't even take it.
Whose idea was it to do the merchandise thing? Because I reckon it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was all three of us. We just said, if we can get people promoting our message as a walking billboard pretty much and starting conversations, then it'll definitely help us. But, we're all very passionate about it and it's been a big part of Speak and Share. We got kids, we got a pop-up shop this Sunday just around the corner and we've got kids coming from like 6 hours away apparently.
Really?
Like, I'm getting on the buses, I'm going to be sleeping overnight, so I'm in front of the line. So, yeah, the people love it, which is incredible. And, we love putting a story behind it and creating campaigns out of it. So, we don't want it just to be just a piece of a garment that someone wears. We really want it to have a message that attaches to that person. So the one I'm wearing was dedicated to one of our friends called Jesse, and it's about creativity. It's linked to his father, so who's an artist, and being able to attach this really special message that people can align with and put on their chest is why we want to do it.
Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah, and we want to continue it going forward, and we've done it for a little while now. We've had quite a few jumpers and T-shirts and things out there, so Nath is the creative man behind a lot of it. He does a great job at thinking of the new initiatives and the new designs and what colours go together and that, and seems to be going all right so far, so we'll keep him in that job, I think, for now.
Thanks, mate. That's a good call. Like, did each of you go, I'm going to bring this skill set to the project, or did it kind of naturally happen? Like,
we love to be collaborative still, like working together on things, and we probably this time last year we came together and said we probably need to have people in charge of certain areas, and we don't need all three of us working on the same thing. So we have our little roles within the business that we try to look after, but we do like report back to each other and make a lot of decisions together still.
So I know we all love being across each of the areas, and luckily for us in Speak and Share, there is so many different areas. There's merchandise, there's sporting club programs, school programs, sponsorships, and community events. So it's hard. It was very hard for us to be all on top of each other. So we gave each other some responsibility in each of the different areas.
Yeah, I love that.
But we still love coming together and throwing around ideas. And there's a few in the pipeline. So we look forward to working on them together. Yeah,
awesome. Speaking of the pipeline, like if you don't mind sharing, have you got like a specific vision for 5 years or like next year or anything that or what you would like Speak and Share to become?
Yeah, we really want to develop our school program.
Yeah.
So we want to have programs and facilitators, all across the country, hopefully spreading our message. So with that, we're working at the moment trying to get new people involved to help us become facilitators. And then we want to, this is a big dream, we want to get a bus and do like a tour and create a bit of a doco out of it, capturing people's stories. So hopefully one day soon. Have I missed anything?
Maybe shout out to Daryl. He's on our board and he wrote a 52-page business plan that outlines our next 5 and 10 years. So
cool.
There's a fair bit in that. But yeah, I think more of those like initiatives and projects we want to start now. We love starting a new, I guess you call it project, and what we can do further from outside what we're doing now. So yeah, consolidate the programs and the merchandise and keep that ticking over, but then how we can expand out and reach more eyes, especially across the country as well. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Have you guys heard of the Road Trip Nation stuff?
No.
That's like something Dan and I loved was like, and we still do. It's funny you say about the bus thing because we had like a similar kind of thing. We were like, how sick would it be to have like a career counselling, like pop-up bus that young people could come to and go, I don't know what I want to do with my life. And go, hey, let's have a convo about that. Like,
sweet.
And some helpful resources.
Yeah, awesome.
Road Trip Nation is like this, I think there's like a docu-series and there's a book too where they jump in a bus and they take 3 people, it started in America, and they just literally go on a road trip, meeting different people, looking at different occupations, and this is generally 3 people that don't really know what they want to do, or maybe they've tried a few things, they still feel like they haven't got a sense of purpose.
Yeah.
Super cool.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, awesome. It could give you like a bit of food for thought on your project.
Yeah, bloody oath. The other thing we want to develop is like school resources.
Yeah, cool.
And we want to add to our school program, so we want to create a bit of a curriculum for the different areas, the age areas, and at the moment we're in the secondary schools, but we definitely do want to get into the primary school because that's where a lot of these mental health challenges are starting early. So if we can get in there and start introducing them to what mental health is and how to regulate with your emotions and your feelings, we're a big believer in that will help change the culture. So
yeah, love that.
I guess attached to the bus idea as well, we have a good connection with the NT and the Tiwi Islands. So the 3 of us are living up there for a period of time, and then Nathan and myself played for the Tiwi Bombers, and we've done so for the last few years. So we'd love to, I guess, further establish that connection up there and what we can do to support those communities. That we have so much to learn from them. They're inspiring people up there, so we can get that going. Yeah,
that's cool. That's really cool. We have a lot of like educators listening to our show. Like, do you mind sharing some more stuff around your school programs? So like, what types of programs are they, and how can they learn more, and some of the outcomes that you're looking for your audience?
Yeah, so at the moment we've got our workshop, which is called Students Before People. People Before Students. Sorry, I forgot the wrong way around. But
all good.
It's been a long day, but it's all about starting to facilitate these conversations. So the first part of it is an activity, we break the ice, but then the bulk of it is providing them prompts to sit in groups and work through these questions about their mental health, things that inspire them, just to start talking about some of these things in their life. What are you most proud of? If you're stranded on an island for a week, who are you taking and why? So we just want to start these conversations to get them practicing talking.
Yeah, cool.
It's up to them what they want to share. So we say vulnerability is optional, not forced. So we're not encouraging them to share maybe the worst thing that's ever happened to them, but we just want them to sit down with their friends and practice talking.
Share something.
Absolutely. And then we summarise that by, sharing our own stories so they can see, what vulnerability looks like. But the key takeaway is just, giving them an opportunity to sit down and talk, because that's what we remember being back at school, that we didn't have that opportunity. And we didn't know what mental health was until we actually experienced it. And unfortunately for us, or for myself personally, like I'd never really spoken about some of the hard things in my life. And then when I really needed to, I didn't know how to do it. So until I built up the courage and, until I had friends reach out and say what's going on, then I was able to. But if we can introduce these techniques and opportunities for kids, then hopefully they'll learn the skills and build up the vulnerability to be able to do so. So that's probably the bulk of it.
Yeah, we call ourselves a preventative mental health approach as well. So, providing the space for them to have those conversations, and then if they are going well, then they learn the techniques and the things they can do and the people they can reach out to, as well as the amazing services that are available as well. Then maybe if there ever is a little dip in their life, they know some of the things that they can do to try and build themselves back up and to stay going along all right.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think from my end too, like being an educator, like I feel that there's so many. There's such a big portion of the pie for everyone with these types of projects. I feel like there's the big ones like obviously Beyond Blue. You've got the Resilience Project. You've got the Black Dog Institute, and you guys doing some cool stuff. But I feel like more is just always better because certain people are going to gravitate to certain foundations and certain principles or certain programs. And I just think that, it's the way you are communicating that to youth is in my opinion, seems pretty effective and pretty cool. It's like, I haven't seen Beyond Blue get around with some mad hoodies. Like, do you know what I mean? Like there's different ways to communicate, principles that are effectively the same. Like, is that a fair call?
Yeah, we definitely recognise that early days. I'd say that there is a lot of amazing organisations and institutions out there that we wanted to be a part of this field, but it can't be a competitive field. It's more how can we all work together. We've all got this same goal of, I guess, improving our community's mental health and for them to recognise some of the things they can do. So, we're always very mindful in our programs that we do, I guess, shout out those organisations and where you can go to and some of the services that are available, because there are a lot of amazing services out there.
We started and we looked at all these awesome organisations and we said, we want our program to come from the youth. So, in 5-6 times, we probably don't see ourselves facilitating these conversations because, we'll be 30 or 35 and we want it to come from 21, 22-year-olds who aren't too dissimilar to those that they're talking to, because that's why we started it. We said, we're 3 young males, let's be vulnerable, and hopefully, young males and females themselves will, they'll appreciate that and they'll be able to relate to it. So, there's a lot of people doing awesome things, but we said also with ours, if they can learn one thing from our program and hopefully they're learning one thing from another program, it could actually save a life. So, we've put it out there that we'd love to collaborate with whoever that is, whatever that looks like. We and as May said, we do talk about the other services and what they offer and how they can help you, because we're purely getting in there and starting the conversation and just bringing as much awareness to them as possible.
Yeah, cool. Boys, I've got to ask, there might be some crew listening who maybe do want to start a charity one day. What's one of the hardest things or how'd you go about starting a charity? Because I understand there's like a few boxes you've got to tick.
Yeah, there definitely is. The charity status was a big one for us. We wanted to be a recognised charity and to get that status, it's a bit of a journey you have to go on. So we've been very well supported by a couple of members on our board that have definitely helped out with that. So Beck Wilmon and Daryl Houghton, as well as Ricky Johnson, the 3 of them have played a big role, I guess, in our early days establishment. So started as a business, and then you apply for your charity status and go through that journey. But with that comes building a business plan and that too. But for anybody that's wanting to start a business or a charity, if you're passionate about it and you have this goal and you do your research and your homework on it, but you want it to work, you can absolutely make it work if the passion is there. There's definitely room for it.
Yeah, as May said, Daryl was a big factor in that, and he sort of just asked us, where do you want to take Speak and Share? And we've always said, we're working in the mental health space. We want to be as transparent with our community as possible, and dreams of ours were always to start a charity. So I probably can't talk on as much hard work as that Daryl's put in, but
shout out to Daryl.
It required a lot of reading and talking from us, but he's the man that actually got us into that position. So, yeah.
How did they get involved originally? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, they were really cool. So they, I've reached out a little bit. A lot of it was from the merchandise as well, seeing it around, and then reaching out to say how can they help. And
love that.
Unlucky for them, we drawed them in for a couple of years and they're still with us. So
cool.
We can't get rid of them.
They're just extremely passionate people who, do believe in what we're doing, and they can see it firsthand. So they've been on the journey with us. They've been incredible. They've given us so much time and energy of theirs, and they're always looking to get us in front of the right people that we need to meet to keep evolving Speak and Share. So we owe them so much. But yeah, we're very lucky. We just met the right people at the right time, and here we are. And we hope to have them with us for a long time. So
yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
There's definitely space for businesses and charities to work together a little bit more as
Yeah.
well. So if there's people that do want to start a business and do want to start a charity, there's so many people you can reach out to that are happy to help. And especially in this field as well, charity is an amazing thing to be a part of. So if you can jump in and give it a go, there's a lot of people that will help you out.
Yeah. I love what you're doing, boys, because one of the things that we really preach at Arrive and Thrive is that, we believe everyone has the opportunity to do meaningful work. And I'm assuming Speak and Share ticks that box for you guys. And, the research has shown that meaningful work can really contribute positively to a positive mental health. And I feel like when people go, why do you do Arrive and Thrive? Like I always come back to this, like, work is a vehicle to a part of the bigger picture of like your person and your I suppose holistically, that vehicle to produce purpose. And I think mental health is like the foundation. And if you don't have a positive mental health, how can you find meaningful work? Yeah. So I think it's really important stuff that you're doing.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, you definitely you fill your bucket when you're able to make a difference. And we've said from the start we just want to make a difference. So it puts a big smile on us when we do get a message saying you've helped me reach out to my friend. So we love seeing those messages, and we're very fortunate to be on this journey.
Yeah, cool.
It's a tough one because it is a hard field to measure your success, I guess. What does that look like? But as Nath said, a lot of it comes from that message we will receive, or an Instagram message that somebody will send through, and we'll give it a read and think, well, we truly are having an impact on these people, and it's nice to read. So
yeah. That's awesome. I suppose that's my next question. Like, what's some of the main highlights that you've experienced on your journey thus far?
Oh, one of the big ones would definitely have been the fun run. Yeah. So last year we put this fun run together in, it would have been like a month time. I'm going to say like we fluked a lot of it, to be honest. We worked really hard to get it up and running, but we've definitely given ourselves a lot longer this year to prepare it. So, but on that day, we saw 500 people come down from the community and go out and run, and just the energy that day, and seeing everyone there for our message and for our cause and our organisation it was truly incredible. So that's been a big one. And then, we've had a few messages recently. We got one in the mail actually, and it actually spoke about how we'd help them with some of the struggles that they've had. So to receive things like that, it does really bring you back to why you're on this journey. It does really touch you. So those things are really special.
Yeah, I love that.
Huge highlight for me as well is meeting so many people along the way. To love, learning people's stories and listening to the way they've gone about things, or any advice they have for Speak and Share as well. It's pretty cool, the amazing people that are in our community, and I guess doing this work we get to meet a lot of different people and with different goals and ambitions. So I love that part of it, as well as like the 5-10 minutes post like a community event or post a program where there's some pretty cool conversations that have occurred, and gives you time to reflect on that. It's pretty powerful and rewarding work. So normally we're running around like headless chooks at community events, so when we can sit down and stop for a moment, it's pretty special. That's
such a good call, man. Like that beauty of like when you finish a workshop and then 5 minutes after, like someone coming up to you and just going, hey, like that was awesome, or I really learnt this. I know as a facilitator, when you get that type of feedback, it's like that clarification of going, yes, I am like doing something that is helping individuals. Because I know like when you first start, and I found when I first started, like you're kind of going, is this stuff landing? Like, am I onto something here, or is it not? Like, am I doing it in the right way? And there's a lot of, I found I had like a lot of self-doubt as well. And so when you get that like little bit of external feedback of someone being like, oh, hey, I really liked that story, or that really resonated for me. And it's such a nice feeling.
Absolutely. And we might present to a group of 60 participants, and if there's one person that it affects, then it's worth us doing it. So
love that. Awesome. Boys, thanks so much for your time. Last little thing I want to ask you, just to honour my good man Dan, is just going to play his theme music, but it's essentially, you know, the little segue around what you're roaring about. So I'll play his theme music.
Taco. I'm roaring.
I'm brewing. I'm soaking it up.
Taco, just thought I'd drop in with a little late night surprise for you.
I'm not sure if you can hear the sizzling. I'm just sort of stewing on that.
I'm roaring.
So like Dan always used to like, that's pretty much a mashup of all these like little audio messages he used to send me. Yeah. It was pretty cool going back through it, and I was like, how do I honour him? I got to like capture his voice. And he's like, you know, Taco, what are you roaring about, mate? And it's like, I got to have that in the body still somehow.
That puts a smile on your face, doesn't it? That's awesome.
Always, man. So yeah, boys, what are you roaring about?
You go, Nath.
Yeah, I'm roaring about. So Ben's not here to defend himself, but we've been playing a lot of table tennis lately, right?
Okay.
And
at the office?
Yeah, at the office.
Yeah.
After hours, of course. But I think in the last week I've played Ben maybe, let's say 15 times, and I've beaten him every game.
Really?
And he's having an absolute stinker of a patch.
Oh,
and just to see him frustrated is putting a massive smile on my face. So I'm roaring about that one. He's going to hate that. But
we do res him up as well. So
he gets really angry and like frustrated.
Oh, really?
And as soon as you see that, you know you've got him. He's
Dude, I could see a lot of myself in Ben. I versed my brother-in-law and in table tennis like every summer down at the beach house at my in-laws' beach house, and Nick is like this super athlete, like this kid that just like he plays for Essendon, and he just like whatever sport he does, he just dominates.
Yeah.
And like I'm like, I've got him on the ropes here, and like little backhand in like the furthest corner of like the table tennis. I'm like, that's the best shot I'll ever hit in my life. And he somehow gets like this 360 shot and hits it back, and I'm just like, like I'm done. I can't even try. So I emphasise with Ben because I've been killed by him and for as long as I can remember.
He keeps telling me, he's like, I know I'm a better player than you. And I'm like, mate, there's levels to this, and he's nowhere near it.
He's saying that to tell himself.
How about you, Mace?
Yeah, mine might be, Nate just gave me a little nudge during that segment then, so I guess I better say it, that I haven't seen too many movies, I guess, but the ones I have seen is The Hangover, so part 1, 2, and I think there's a 3 as well. And I don't know how it came back up. I would have seen them 10 years ago, but I feel like they were on TV the other day or something, and it's just sparked like these one-liners coming out. So there's something hilarious about Leslie Chow at the moment. So he's
won't stop saying it, man.
Yeah, there's a couple of lines. Like, nobody mess with Chow.
Chow.
So that's what I'm roaring about at the moment. Just finding humour in Leslie Chow.
I'm gonna add to that. We actually had a mate's for dinner last night.
Yeah.
With his family, and mate's got the TV remote, and he put on Leslie Chow highlights, and we're all sitting there watching it. He was just cackling all night.
I think I was the only one laughing too. For some reason, there's a heap of humour involved with it. But
that's so good.
I'm definitely roaring about that. These boys are getting sick of the one-liners already.
But the joke's over.
I'll keep it going.
What are you roaring about? Is there anything at the moment?
Thanks for asking, man. What am I roaring about at the moment? I think I am roaring about. So I've got 2 daughters. So I've got a 3-year-old and a 10-month-old, and one of my mates, Paddy, actually, he just had his daughter, Harriet, and I'm just roaring, talking to him and another mate who's had a daughter as well. Just talking to those guys and just kind of giving them any little bits of advice that I can give around the journey of parenting, because it's a hell of a journey.
Does he get any sleep, Paddy, or is he?
He's getting a little bit of sleep.
He's a great man.
Yeah, so he's a natural. He's going to be an absolute natural father. So I'm just roaring watching him and trying to contributing the little bits that I can to that type of journey. So
How do you find the juggle of 2?
Yeah, it's one-on-one basketball, man.
Nice.
So you can't sub your wife off the bench or anything like that anymore. But it's a juggling act. But I'm also mindful that it's not going to be as hectic as it is now for I'm assuming, our whole life, because a toddler and an infant, there's a lot that needs to happen for them to survive the day. So
Yeah.
it is really enjoyable, but it's tiring sometimes.
Yeah, awesome.
Good advice for you, Nath. You're not too far
Give
off.
it a rest, buddy.
You got one on the way, do you, mate?
No,
Or-
man. Not a chance. Not that I know of.
We're a long way off.
Yeah, cool. Well, boys, thanks so much for coming on the show. I really, really appreciate it, and keep up the good work. Yeah.
Thanks
Thanks,
for
mate.
having us, mate. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, awesome. No, great to be on, and appreciate the conversation.
Yeah, and actually, just before I let you go, how can people get in touch and see your amazing work and so forth?
Jump on the socials. We're trying to create a community through Instagram, so it's speak_share. Otherwise, www.speakandshare.com.
Awesome.
If you're interested in a program, please reach out. We'd love to talk to you. Otherwise, we'd love to see you at a community event. So
cool.
To stay looked out for on the socials.
Awesome. And just curious, like in schools, is there to pay for a program, can it be like a donation or a charity thing, or how does that work just for educators?
Yeah, so we do have a fee for our
cool.
program, but we are a charity, so
Awesome.
it all goes through the charity, and our facilitators get paid through that fee to run that. But if there is any educators listening, we would love to come out to your school or a sporting club and get involved. And if you see us on the street, come say hello, and any ideas, feel free to share them.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks, boys.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.